Hey everyone, welcome. This is Pine Grove News Live, a little special edition here. It's 8:53 p.m. here on the East Coast. So, well, I don't know if we're live. I don't have time to check, so maybe somebody can check. And please let me know. But in the meantime, let me put this out, Fair Use Act, because there's a couple of videos that I need to go through. And we'll start. Let's start by, well, first of all, it's not an emergency. It's not an emergency. It's just some things I've heard today that some people were looking for. There have been troop movements apparently in the U.S., Texas, California, North Carolina, and a train heading towards Chicago apparently, but we'll leave that for everyone here to discern for themselves. And just some people out there expressing their speculations, their opinions, and some information. And so first, let's just go to the coronavirus and get an update on the figures there. This is, actually, let's just update it again because this was this morning. I know it's over 300,000 now. So, yeah, so 304,544 as of 8:55 p.m. It's gone up quite a bit just since this morning. And all right, let's. I think I have one to show you down here. 237. That was 2 days ago. Yeah, it's up there somewhere. So let's see. Let's go here. When's this one? 4:50 p.m. the 19th. This was this morning, 11:59 a.m. 286. So it went up almost. Let's see, 9,000 since this morning, as far as, total confirmed. That's all that is. So with that, I'm going to take you to, I got 4 videos and I'm only going to show you parts of it. I'll leave the links. You can go and look at them completely. Some of you have already seen them. Some of you have sent them to me. So with that, I'm going to take you to the first one here, and don't normally listen to this guy for my own reasons, but he is a good source of some information on what's happening over there in Israel. I don't know if he's living there right now or not. Anyway, probably is. So yeah, I mean, his title alone, is it, the coronavirus or war preparation? And that's something we all should be thinking about, because it certainly isn't the coronavirus and a few thousand people dead from it, okay? When, got to figure this morning, 34,000 plus that died this year alone from the flu. I don't know if it's in the U.S. or worldwide. I think it's in the U.S. 34,000. And we barely scratched anything anywhere near that number, and yet we're closing down the country. So none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, some people are saying, and you'll hear this throughout the videos, that maybe they are planning for some kind of, before it happened type deal, because I remember when we went to war first, of course, Japan attacked us in World War II, and then we started changing the assembly lines from making refrigerators to making, tanks and bombs and planes. And so maybe he knows something already. Maybe, excuse me, maybe, because we've been talking about it for a while. I mean, they need to take the U.S. out, do they not, in order to attack Israel? Because if we are able to respond to any attack on Israel, we would go to their aid, especially with Trump in there. You know that, right? So that is one big possibility. Of course, the other one is, we've talked about it, that maybe this thing called Nibiru is finally coming to fruition after all these years of talking about it. It could most definitely happen. I mean, even prophecy and Revelation speaks of some of these things. And so maybe that's happening too. But let's just all be vigilant. And first of all, come back to earth, because know what's going on. And it's not the coronavirus that is shutting down this country and putting businesses out of business and taking away income from people who have to stay home because they're not essential. So what are we doing to this country? And not only that, we're going to talk about what the main reason I came on for, and is this the troop movements in the U.S. And we already know that the National Guard has been called up in just about every state, if not all of them. And yeah, some of them are actively participating in different scenarios of the coronavirus epidemic. And of course, one person claims that in Montana somewhere that there are roadblocks using these National Guards. Some say it's just DUI checkpoints, or under the guise of DUI checkpoints, and they're actually forcing people to get vaccinations, of which we do not have as the moment. But some claim that, we could use quinine and other things, malaria drugs, to alleviate some of the symptoms anyway of this coronavirus. And, for the first, 3 months? How long has it been going? 3 months now? And for those 3 months, it's mostly been attacking elderly, 60 and above. Look what happened in Washington in one nursing home. Last figure I was told about was 39 dead in one nursing home. But those are the ones that should be protected right now. And a lot of them are in lockdown, but it's not good enough. Put the National Guard there. I mean, because I think somebody is, they're attacking America, yeah, but I think it's certain individuals. But then, past couple days, maybe midweek, we've come up with, because we talked about second virus possibly out there, second strain anyway, and supposedly it was a more dangerous strain. And now we're hearing reports, supposedly, of younger people between the age of 18 and 39, or was it 18 and 49, that are also being affected. Now, look at all the people that died in Italy in one day, 624. Even beat China out. And they're not all elderly. Look at Iran. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe they've made up multiple strains and just, I don't know what's going on. None of us really do we? All we can do is keep reporting and keep, you got a phone, use it. I mean, heck, before they turn the internet off, we still got the phones. Of course, what are they going to do? Knock the satellites down? Maybe. So the other scenario we've talked about, okay, Russia. Russia's been awfully quiet in this past, during this epidemic. We've talked about other scenarios. I mean, one of the scenarios is, that America is going to be attacked. I mean, it could be Russia because, Gog or Magog, whoever they are, come down from the north to attack Israel. Come under the guise of protecting them, maybe wanting to do business with them, and end up just trying to take their resources. And they have an awful lot of them right now. Israel does. So I believe that we will get still those 1, 2, maybe 3 nuclear attacks, 2 on this soil, American soil, and maybe 1 in the UK. I still think that will happen, and I think that will, again, totally panic this country, the people in it, and that's why the National Guard are out there. That scenario, we'll call it number 3. Okay, so 1, being they just want to take the economy down because we've reached that point in time in relative Bible or biblical prophecy where the beast system will be installed, a world economic program, and we will not go quietly in the night. That's all I can tell you. No way. So with that, I'm going to start this, and I'm going to stop and go in a couple points so we can get right through them. I do not want to spend too much time. I already spent more time than I wanted with me talking, so I will try and shut up right now. We'll listen to this see what happens.
I want you to listen to this real quick. This is from Ron Paul's Liberty Report, where they're talking about
Israeli Live
the
News.
coronavirus. Just listen into this. Very interesting little thoughts here to think about.
You touched on, Thomas, the way the governors are reacting to this, and even mayors are reacting to a disease in the U.S. that's killed now just over.
This is Representative Thomas Macy that he has on the coronavirus.
It's never a happy occurrence when people die from disease, but we know there have been at least 22,000 people who died of the seasonal flu over the past few months. We didn't shut down the country, so this whole shutting down the country over 100 people, you can't even get the sanitary facilities you need for a decent life. Something seems to be happening here. It's very chilling. In fact, on yesterday's program, we read a quote from a friend of ours that said, "Suddenly we woke up and realized we're living in North Korea." It almost feels like that way.
Yeah.
It feels like that a little bit here in Kentucky. There was a man who the government claims tested positive, although they didn't provide him with his test results. And he went home and they told him to self-isolate or quarantine. And he said that, he wouldn't, or at least that's what the media is saying. And so they posted a sheriff's deputy outside of his house. And my question is, what would they do if that man walked out and got in his car? Would they shoot him? Would they suit up in hazmat uniforms and drag him off?
Good question, right? Good question. Would they shoot him? Would they arrest him? Well, I'm telling you, people, as of Monday evening, sometime this coming Monday, 5 states here in the East Coast, Connecticut is one of them, that are instituting, including New York, New Jersey. I don't know the other 2 at the moment. They're instituting that, shelter in place thing. Nobody is allowed on the streets that are not essential. So you have to stay home. And that's coming. I mean, for what? I mean, I know, anyways, we could talk about that another time. Well, let's go to, 416. We're going to talk about scenario number 4, but I think it rates up there either 1 or 2. But listen to this. Come on.
Watch things that are unfolding. I'm really starting to think that the coronavirus, besides being a front for 5G, things like that, what they could be rolling out,
there you go.
Really beginning to wonder if we are not a war posture in this country. When the president invokes let me pull this up, see if I can
Production Act
again. This is where he does this War Act thing.
Yeah, let's go make fridge.
And then we see all these surgical ships and even our hospital ships being staged different parts of the country. Yeah, some people might say, okay, pandemic. It's not a pandemic. We're not seeing what China saw or Iran has saw. Many times they come out and say that it's mainly the elderly that are at most risk with this. So anyway.
Yeah, so there you have that. And that's about all I really got from him. He does talk about in this video, Russia, maybe preparing to strike. That's where I got that from. Kind of makes sense. But again, doesn't offer any real proof. Speculation like the rest of us, because, we're all a little bit, we're not fearful. We're just, I'm pretty confused. I mean, In Truth by Grace, who you'll hear in a minute, calls it, the Twilight Zone. Yeah, it really feels like you're in a place that it may be a reality, but it's not acting like it. It's not like the one we're used to. A lot of people are talking, my age or younger, a little bit younger. They've never seen anything like this. I mean, of course not. This is America. It doesn't happen here. Does not happen here. This is not China. This is not Russia. This is not Italy. It's not a communist state yet. Maybe that should be scenario number 5. And I'm reading that book called Revelation Rainbow, where it talks about, when we get into the 5G, it talks about electricity and how it was used in the early 1700s. And the coincidental, they talk about the Spanish flu and what was going on during the Spanish flu. What was actually, they were talking about experimental electrical properties. And it goes on, this book goes on and mentions a few outbreaks like this. Well, not like the Spanish flu. I mean, that was pretty bad. But when these things happened, when these viruses came out, and people, they were experimenting with electrical properties in one case or another. But I'm not that far into the book yet, but I mean, man, some very interesting stuff there. And it gives you all the, the data, the backgrounds, the people who were working on these things and what they were doing, and the viruses that came out during those experiments. Anyway, so that's another soapbox, but we'll talk about that because, this 5G, again, right? Electrical properties, frequencies. Well, what do we have? We have the coronavirus. Is it just all, put out there on purpose? Well, could be. So that's what we're trying to figure out. So in any case, let's get to, I kind of want to get to this one first from Dabu7, because he's always very dramatic when he comes and brings the stuff out. And want to get that out before going in Truth by Grace, because she's the rationalist. I like her, to ration everything out and then make sure you make the decision what it is. So here goes.
This is Dabu7. We now have word out of Idaho that they have ordered people to self-isolate starting yesterday. Now, they're saying that this order directs all individuals living in Blaine County, all cities in Blaine County, and all unincorporated areas of Blaine County to go into this mode, to self-isolate. And you can see here it gives directions on what's going on, but this is out of Idaho. And in the end, what this basically says is that if you get caught breaking this, you will be hit with a misdemeanor that is punishable by a fine, jail time, or both. So we've talked about the lockdowns in this country, how they've been using the soft wordage like self-quarantine and to self-isolate instead of saying mandatory lockdown and things of that nature. But yet this is exactly what is happening. Anytime you have police or authorities enforcing anything, then that's mandatory. And at this point, anyone that gets caught in Idaho is going to see some repercussions, and I feel that this is going to expand further into further states.
Yeah, and, he makes a good point that I know what I was talking before didn't come out because I didn't have the volume. That's just the problem with playing videos, why I don't normally do it, because you got to have control of both those volumes, at least the way I got it set up. But anyway, makes a good point. I mean, we've heard other people trying to, warn people about pending martial law for probably a year now. Particular people that, anyways, I'm not going to mention them, but yeah, this is all just been, and it seems like, and that's why it feels like the Twilight Zone, because we all were just taken over, weren't we, by our own government, under the guise of protecting people, and the stimulus package, which is now supposedly up to $2 trillion. So yeah, and appease us all by giving us $1,000 check, or whoever gets it, though, and not everyone's going to get it. So, in any case, man, just crazy stuff. So let's go back to In Truth by Grace, because this other video, this one right here that I got from, it's called Last Messages. started listening to him when they had the figures from China coming out, and because he had some good video, or she, I don't know, he or her. And anyways, good videos there with this. But let's go to In Truth by Grace, and let me start off, I guess, at 3 minutes. But no, here, yeah, I want to make this point, I guess, because she wanted to make a point about this too. This picture over here, she basically asked you what you see in that picture. Okay, and I saw a woman with curly hair turned to, facial view. What do you call it? Not facial view, side portrait view or whatever. But there's actually two. There could be two people in this picture. One is, this young woman with cheekbones there. But then she mentioned that there is another picture of an older lady. Curly hair. Here's the eyes. Another eye. Here's the nose, the mouth, the chin. And then I had to focus because I first saw the young lady. And then I had to focus my eyes because she had mentioned an older lady is in there as well. And I saw the older lady. And that's what a lot of this stuff is right now, okay? It's just a matter of perception and what you see when you're, and in what state of mind you are when you're seeing it. Because we will see different things. Like I saw the young lady, other people would see the older lady. So, and actually believe it. But in any case, it's just what In Truth by Grace called just an ugly picture. That's all it is. But I don't know, getting all kinds of blimps on Facebook. Why? What is going on? I don't know what's going on. 995, not 994. What is she talking about? Oh, she wants me to call her. Well, I can't do that right now. Anyway, so here we go. Oh, come on.
That's all he does is upload videos on trains. Now he says, shut off comments here. Comments got too crazy, so I had to turn them off. This is a normally run train because they're made in Oshkosh and we're being shipped off. They do this all the time, and there's nothing special about it. And he puts in all caps, I repeat, this has nothing to do with coronavirus or anything of that sort. There have even been news headlines about what this train actually was, because some people freaked out in Chicago over it. Thanks for watching and reading. Well, I think there might be a reason why people freaked out there, Mr. Sturtevant Rail Productions. Why don't we look here what our Military Times posted yesterday. Guard activations expected to rapidly increase. Could be used for law enforcement. Now, I'm not going to get on a soapbox about why we don't have the military being used as law enforcement, except for that
We do.
We do.
We most certainly do. All right. Keep forgetting to turn this volume on. Any case, yeah. Guard activation expected to rapidly increase. Well, they already have. We've spoke about that. But yeah, a lot of people have perceptions of, differing views, obviously. So we all got to find out the right thing. And the rest of this video is just basically
In the description, and you guys
with all
can
these
read
trains going by. And I'll skip through them quickly. She goes through all these videos, plays a song. I don't know why. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a therapist. But yeah, I guess she's proving a point. You tell me what that point is. And she just goes back and forth to the same trains. There's like 6 of them. with these things on it. And there's a couple that she doesn't have that I'm going to show you with that last video. They actually have excavators, backhoes on these trains that we've seen before. So, are all these trains suddenly moving military hardware to and fro throughout the United States? Well, that first train we saw in this article is a train that normally happens with normal equipment on because they make that stuff there. So yeah, we sell military equipment to anyone we can, right? That's one of the biggest things that we do. America does. So, but it's kind of, you know, what do you call it? Coincidental, right? So we're going through this coronavirus epidemic, same time that supposedly there's 5G testing, possibly a Nubaru Plant 7X and its shower meters before it gets here in 2021. Some people are claiming, like they do every year, right, that this is the last year. This is the last year. No, this is the last year. This is the last year. You know, I always got people like that. Always. So this last video, let's see. Let's just play it. I don't know where I can start. Let's make sure. Okay, I got everything on. Global martial law. That could be the beast system, right? That's one thing that makes sense with the global thing. Now, if it was just a pandemic in you know, the U.S. or this continent, I would say that it's just America, but it's not. Global. It's global. Remember, global. So he'll give you, I believe this was in Morocco, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, right up top. Morocco. Imagine this, you know, coming down your street, and it may happen in a town near you. Well, let's move on to, what is this, Albania? That's what it says down there. We're just going to skip through it. Germany.
So ganz USA ist hier.
Troops come out of the planes.
Black
Railroad.
Baby Tank. Die haben amerikanische Namen.
You could say, he said it, they're American.
Alter, was geht hier ab?
Cheap tanks. American tanks. This is Malaysia. Yeah, you don't hear a word I'm saying. But you don't hear a Italy. Of course, you know that they're there because they locked that whole country down. France. Been through Germany where they were saying that they're American tanks and they're cheap American tanks.
Messieurs, en direct de Charenton tout de suite. Si on ne dit pas qu'on se prépare à être un coup.
So they're not only on railroad cars, they're on the streets. Now be careful.
Top of the night, everybody.
Lot of swearing.
Brief. So, I was on a 19 bus on 149th Street in the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Just now. So today is what, Thursday, and it's like fucking 10 at night or some funny shit like that. 10, 11 at night.
Why would 10 at night be?
I seen 5 Army tanks, like hidden in the dark box Stereo Avenue near Gateway Mall. 5 Army tanks. So I asked the bus driver, I'm like, yo, you seen that? He's like, oh yeah, they've been there all day. They've been there, you know, since earlier. There was more, but they left. I'm gonna tell you this, man. You know, like it's crazy because I never thought in my lifetime I would be alive to see it. Well, I knew it, but I was. You know, usually I have a nice amount of chicken saved up, nice amount of Sausalito turkey saved up. Nigeria, ludicrous go to South Africa. I knew something was spooky from there.
So I asked them, I said, are you all starting to patrol now? And they said, yes, they're doing a test run out here in Manhattan. And I said, are you all going to start going to other counties? And they said, yes. So I'm on here to tell each of you who have children, nieces, nephews, even some of us who, you know, we so pig-headed, we stubborn, we know everything. Please, when the Army gets out here in full force, which they are coming, please, if they tell you to go in, please, Mel, please listen. Don't give these people any problems. Let me tell you, they're a whole different level than the police. Okay?
Not really.
You know, they are trained family members that the Army is.
The police are trained militarily. That's why they shoot to kill.
They were out 15 deep in black, shiny minivans. Okay?
San Diego, a lot in California. They've shut down a lot of places there. Look at that in California. You tell me there ain't something going on. That is probably one of the, heading towards Chicago, supposedly this train.
Look at this shit. Headed towards Chicago right now. Holy shit.
Believe it or not, people, you know, there is a Great Lake up there, and we do ship across those lakes into Canada. And they, you know, military equipment, so nothing unusual. Just wow. Yeah, these trains are very long. I mean, they got everything.
That is.
Well, some other ones that gas tankers or whatever they are. They're on the streets. Where was this? San Antonio, Texas. This was on the 1st of this month. 3 engine, I believe, maybe 4. Yeah, so I don't even know what those things are. Personnel carriers, mine sweeping technology. Those are the things out there in the front. I don't know for sure. You know, they got, I mean, these are basically, you know, artillery looking like tanks. And then the tanks, of course. They're not going to need that kind of stuff here, so I can't believe. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, depends on whether they know something we don't know. If somebody's going to attack our southern border, our northern border, try to come in from the coast. I mean, who knows? I mean, we've gone through a lot of scenarios, man. You could have 1 million Chinese people come in there, single-man subs with a nuclear-tipped torpedo on the front of that, because they've had a contest over there one time in China, how to make a man-made sub the cheapest, out of the cheapest material, but, you know, still stand up to the test. And one of them was a one-man. I mean, you just send them, imagine 1 million of those things. I don't know if they could make it across the Pacific, but anyway, you know, I still have a vivid imagination sometimes. Have 1 million, you know, one-man subs show up on our coastline with some kind of tactical nukes on them, and just, I don't know, man. Anything's possible, right? So anyways, where is this from? Yeah. Yeah, that's twice I missed it. Louisiana. Two weeks before the outbreak. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look, Wisconsin, March 16th. Remember that, what do they call it? COVID 20, I forget the name of it now, COVID 2020 or Event 2020, where they practice, the CDC practice a scenario just like what's going on, except for the tanks, of course. Maybe that was later. Didn't listen to the whole thing. But again, there's that same train that you saw earlier. A lot of this you will see here. Mass grave diggers, that's what they call them, these bucket loaders, backhoes. You could dig mass graves with them, but that's not what they're called. Bulldozers, to push the dirt back in. Could be people. I mean, we still have those huge amounts of coffin liners, they call them, buried in the ground. So, let's see. Yeah, some of these don't tell you where they're actually from, but a lot of them do. Figured I'd have all these marked, but I don't.
In that office. I tell you, that National Guard about to take over this motherfucker. Look at that, all these vehicles. Look at that. That's why everybody.
Supposedly heading towards New York. Well, apparently they have tanks in New York. I wouldn't doubt it.
Where are you guys going? We're going to war.
Yeah, with who though? Who are we going to war with? Iran? I know we'd like to. And where the heck is this? Now, what do those flags say? You got Macy's here. What is this, New York? I mean, city, I just assumed it. I don't like the city, so they all look the same. Congested, people everywhere. One-way streets where you get lost. Gotta go around blocks and blocks of buildings just to get back to where you were. Sure. Pay less.
What the fuck is this? Ayo, nah. Hold on. Nah, my nigga.
And so, yeah, this is in the news too. These stadiums, these now empty because they're not playing any more sports, live sports anyway. They're going to be using these stadiums. And there was an event a long time ago.
What's up, YouTube? Okay.
It was kind of a scenario where they took people into these stadiums and they had two gates, one on the left, one on the right, and there was a married couple with a child, and so the father had to go in the right gate, and the mother and the child had to go into the left gate. So they separated them immediately when they went into the stadium.
Idaho, Maryland, United States.
It's just part of a scenario where it also happened to the Jews in Germany. Same exact scenario.
United States military setting up test site so you can be tested for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
In Landover, Maryland, at FedEx Field.
FedEx Field.
Yeah, this shit's getting real.
Military setting up camp. Now, what are they doing there? What are they preparing for? Why the military? Why not FEMA? Or the Salvation Army? the Red Cross, something like that. I mean, look at this, guys. It's like we're going to war. Okay, and I'm going to show you a very shocking photo in a minute, okay? And this is breaking news. It just hit the internet 2 or 3 hours ago. Look at this. What are they doing? What are they preparing for? What are they prepping for?
What is that, guys? I don't know what that is.
Military vehicle and
Now, I'm supposed to be shocked about it, but what is it?
Using the FedEx Center as a
Is that
for what?
Freezer morgues? They don't look long enough.
We got this photo. A girl happened to be driving through. Now, the police have the place barricaded. You cannot get in. Like a normal civilian can't get within a mile of the place. But there was a girl who just so happened to get in, took a little bit of a video, okay? This is what they found. Hospital beds. Now, why? Now, I did a little bit of research. They said it's for, sheltering in place, shelter, things like that. Those look like hospital beds, like they're preparing for a major outbreak. That's what it appears to be to me.
Well, there you go, folks. They're preparing for something, and it's not the coronavirus that is closing down this country. Well, at least that's not the reason. That's what they're using, and most of the people are fearful and are falling prey to it. So I thank the Lord that we have watchmen out there, and the Lord will show us what's really going on. And so let's keep vigilant. Let's keep watchful. Let's keep looking up, because maybe we're looking in the wrong place anyway. God bless everyone. Take care of your families. Take care of your brothers and sisters. And